Racing Outreach offers today's invocation.
Heavenly Father, we have a lot to be thankful for here today, the beautiful sunshine, the sponsors of this event, and Lord, the staff of Brandon and Pocono Raceway that has worked endlessly to make this weekend exciting. And Father, we just thank you for their efforts. Father, we pray that today you extend your arm of safety, Father, to all the fans, all the track services personnel, to the teams and the drivers. And Father, I pray today that all we do here would honor you. In Christ's name, amen.
Here to honor America with the singing of our national anthem, please welcome Alyssa Golden. She is accompanied by Ashton Johns, a student at the Scranton School for Deaf and Hard of Hearing Children.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Let's hear it for Alyssa.
250 miles here at Pocono. Stages at 25, 50, and then the checkered flag at lap 100. Engines fire when we get back. Welcome back to a beautiful day at Pocono. It's about 75 degrees under sunny skies. And well, the time has finally come for us drivers to take over the XFINITY broadcast. Kevin, Joey, Good luck keeping Clint in line. And guys, boom goes the dynamite. Up to you.
Well, that's a unique way for us to lead into our booth up here, but that's a first. So I think there's two big stories that are going to happen here. 4 out of the first 5 are rookies, and the restarts. What's going to happen when we go into turn 1?
I think the unknown is going to happen. We're not sure what's going to happen here. There's a lot of inexperience up front, and there's a lot of experience that are starting 6th, 8th, and a little further back. So restarts are big here at Poconos. It's one of the best opportunities to pass, and we've seen it before here in the Xfinity race. You get through turn 1, that's one part of it, but that tunnel turn is the one that's really tough because there's really only 2 lanes, and even that's pretty tight.
But that's what we all love about the Xfinity Series. Kevin, you remember when I came into this thing, I was learning and trying to beat you. Joey, you remember it. I love the youth in this series. I like those Cup drivers, those Cup regulars being in it. It's going to be a heck of a day, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we had a lot of cautions last year, and we only had, I think, 52 or 53 laps of racing. So with those crazy restarts comes cautions, and with those cautions comes something else, and that's stage racing. So I think as you look at the stages, they're short, 25, and then you have to go to the end. So what do you think happens with the crew chiefs, and what strategy are they looking at?
I think there's a lot of different things that can happen. I asked a couple different crew chiefs last night and said, hey, what do you think? What are you going to do? And I got different answers from different people. So I'm a little bit unsure of what's going to happen because this is one of those racetracks that you can pit and not go down a lap. So I think you're going to see a lot of green flag pit stops and the cars trying to catch the caution, and they know when a caution is going to come out with the stage and try to cycle themselves back up to the front. So look forward to seeing some cars that were leading at one point, and then they're going to be 30th the next lap, and then you're going to cycle back to the lead. It's just going to be crazy all day.
And I think, Clint, the big thing is, do you put 2 tires on? Do you put 4 tires on? How much will the cars be affected in traffic, you think?
Well, I think traffic's everything. We know that. The restarts are a premium, but that's what I love about the Xfinity Series, the length of these stages. As you alluded to, it's a perfect length to create some strategy, create that 2-tire, 4-tire strategy pit stops that make the difference and get you in that clean air.
The last time we saw Kyle Benjamin on the front row, he had a little bit of trouble. What happens here today when they put him 4 wide?
Well, that's one of the good things about it, that he's got a fast car and he's starting up front, and that's nice.
I'm hoping for way more than that.
He'll probably be 5, and he was up front at Richmond, and he got, used up the first restart, but he learned a lot. That's one thing I noticed when I was up in the booth that race, is that he got better and better every restart. So I would expect the same thing from him today.
Well, I know one thing. I think the restarts are going to be really crazy. So let's go downstairs for the command, and we can wait.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, please welcome our Grand Marshal, Executive Director of the Green Sports Alliance, Justin Zellner.
Drivers, start your American ethanol-powered engines!
Engines are fired up, and everyone is ready to go green. But first, let's go to gearing up.
Hey guys, it's Elliott Sadler here. Race day at Pocono, and we love what Fox Sports did this weekend. They brought all the Cup guys over to broadcast the race, and I think that's great for you fans at home.
Good luck to the all-driver broadcast this afternoon. Hope you guys don't blow it.
these young guys, they just have no fear.
Every driver's personality really comes out at this racetrack. There's nowhere more fun to drive.
Xfinity Series is loaded with great young talent.
You never know who's going to step up. How fun is the Xfinity Series?
Welcome back to Pocono on an absolutely beautiful day. Our driver's seat has lots of experience in it today. Starting in 8th position is Brad Keselowski, a former Xfinity winner. Dial him up, Brad.
Let's dial him up here. Hey, Brad, it's Logano up here in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you, Joe.
Hey, we were wondering, we know you're starting back there in 8th, and you got Larson in front of you with some experience, but the front row doesn't have much experience, and we know how crazy these restarts are. What's your game plan?
Well, I think, the 18, the 42, and us are probably the 3 best cars, but we didn't show it in qualifying with the way the setup has to be to do that. So we just need to be smart and take our time to get through the field.
Hey, Brad, it's Boyer. I guess that's my same question. Along those lines, you got Larson starting right in front of you. You going to be able to get around him here on this restart and beat him to that clean air?
That's going to be really tough to do. He's got the high lane. Be curious to see what the front row does for, the leader on top or on the bottom. But if the leader picks the top lane, that could change everything. So I might give him that chance.
All right, buddy. We're 3 drivers up here calling this thing. We're on our own, so don't let us down. Make it spectacular.
I'll give you all I got. Good luck up there, guys. I think you need it more than I do.
Well, I can tell you he's right about that. We need a lot of luck up here, but one of the things
point.
I've been the most excited about is hearing what these 3 on pit road have to say. So, Ricky, what do you have down there?
Well, it's been a big weekend for Bubba Wallace. Not only is he making his Cup debut for Richard Petty, but this could be his last Xfinity race of the season. Due to the lack of sponsorship, the 6 team is suspending operations until further notice. But there's no better way to go get a sponsor's attention than with a win today. Bubba rolls off 13th. Eric?
I'm excited down here to watch Kyle Benjamin go at it today. His 2nd Xfinity Series start, and at no tougher track than Pocono. He's got a really fast race car. This 20 team with Chris Gabehart is going to give him a fast race car all day. They're going to have fast stops. Gabehart will keep him calm in the driver's seat. I'm excited to see what he's going to do. Ryan?
Yeah, well, thanks, Eric. I have the 21 car of Daniel Hemrick today. His 3rd front row start of the season. They've been really fast. Maybe not have gotten the finishes that they deserve, but hopefully to break out and get their first Xfinity win today. His first time in the Xfinity car here at Pocono. He has 2 other starts in the Truck Series. We'll see how he does today. Back up to you in the booth.
You think Blaney takes those hats out of the,
I know he's a big
there?
eBay shopper.
He looks 12 down there today. I mean, this is a Cup regular.
Well, we've got a beautiful day here in Pocono. It's 75 degrees, track temp's 108. We got a strong wind down the front straightaway, and that's going to be something that these guys have to navigate. A few clouds in the sky, but it's pretty nice out there, I'd say. We've got 100 laps for 250 miles. Stages are 25 laps apiece, very short. Pit road speed's 55, and our fuel window's 36 to 40, so Larry Mack tells us.
I think that's the big point, is 36 to 40 laps on the fuel, and the stage is 25 laps long. I think that, like I said, you can go the whole way for the first stage, but you're going to have to pit at some point, and seeing when these cars pit and maybe sacrifice the first stage to try to get points and set themselves up for the second stage and for the finish, I think you'll see some cars mix it up a little bit like that.
Well, I think for me, coming to the green flag, it's almost defensive. I don't want to tear my car up into turn 1, but you have to gain everything that you can. So yeah, let's hear what everybody has to think. Let's see what Danny, what do you guys do when you come to the green?
Well, coming to the green, I'm not really worried about engine temp yet. I'm not really worried about much like that. I'm just thinking about, making sure I get a really good start rolling so I don't have to lift, and I try and set the front real quick before we get going so that when I get down into turn 1, I'm not tight.
Yeah, a lot of it too is you're beating your brakes in. A lot of these guys, well, this is an impound, so you won't be doing that as much, but you want to get your brakes hot. You do use brakes quite a bit at this racetrack. You don't want to overcook them in just the first few laps, so you got to get brake temperature in there. Make sure your tires are clean so you can get through turn 1 like you guys were talking about.
Ryan, what are you thinking about?
The first thing I think about is making sure my steering wheel is on. I give an extra couple tugs, and then just tighten your belts to make sure your switches are where they need to be to get to the start, and kind of think of the move that you're going to make. This place is so wide, and there's always moves on these restarts, so that's what you're kind of going through in my mind. Eric, what do you think?
I'm thinking I hope I don't crash when I get down to turn 1 and wad everyone up. So most of the time getting the tires warmed up for these first few laps, listening to Gabehart, going over all the pre-race notes, what he's got to say, and then getting down into turn 1, trying to figure out where everybody's going to go and seeing what's going to happen. Ricky?
I like to give my team a pep talk, make sure that they're pumped up, ready for the race. Check all my switches, like Ryan said. Tighten your belts, and then be thinking about what you're going to do when you're going to get to turn 1. Try to time that restart. To me, it's making sure my helmet's tight and really focusing on this restart. And take it away, Kevin.
Lord have mercy. When I go into turn 1 tomorrow after hearing all that,
that's exactly now we know what they're thinking.
Everyone sounds really confident about what we're doing down there in turn 1.
As long as Ryan Blaney's got a steering wheel on, I think we're good to go.
Oh, I don't know. I listened to Eric. I've changed my whole game plan. Now I'm worried about, am I starting around him? Worried about going into turn 1.
No kidding. I think one of the big things about restarts here in the initial start is how long this front straightaway is. And the draft comes into play even before you get onto turn 1. You'll see cars that are able to pull each other back, use that side draft, and try to put themselves in the best position they can to be aggressive into turn 1. But also you heard a lot of them trying to be somewhat patient also and not tear your car up into turn 1. So we've seen that happen here before at Pocono lap 1, and everyone slides up the racetrack, and you might not want to be on the outside.
But that's what's cool about this place. You get down there, you're 3, 4, 5 wide. More than that, you get down in there. You can strategize all you want coming down that front straightaway. You get down there, everybody goes every which way. And now you got to bob and weave.
Well, there's a lot to navigate, that's for sure. So it sounds like we have a little bit of advice from the drivers in the field today. So let's hear what they have to say.
You know what's cool? I love that Fox is doing this, the all drivers broadcast.
I guess my advice would be to just kind of have some fun with it.
The broadcast, I think, is going to be a lot of fun.
From a viewer, I would just want to be authentic, and I don't think they're going to struggle with that.
Just let loose, be yourself, be silly. You see something, say something, don't be afraid to talk about it. It is what it is.
I think it's a great idea, and fans are going to get more insight this weekend than they ever have.
Well, I'm really worried about Boyer giving his true, honest opinion today. I don't know if he will.
I always do, don't I?
Yes. Yes, you do. That was sarcasm.
Well, just so you know, Eric Jones starts 2 rows.
I know. That's what I said. I saw that before we came up here, and then he said that he wasn't worried about nothing but wrecking when he gets into turn 1. That made me slightly concerned.
Well, it sounds like we have a little radio from the 21. Let's hear what he has to say.
Thank you, guys. Our fast race car. I'm trying to do what I can here for you. Be safe with the road. Getting going on these restarts, so it's got to be long, hard shifts. Getting rolling good, getting a little help, and keeping that momentum down into 1. Better to be way too aggressive than not aggressive enough.
Well, I don't know about that.
That's a cheerleader. I guarantee you that.
I can tell you this. I know the spotter because that's my spotter 10 feet away. And I think as we go into turn 1 on a normal race day, I hear, all right, take care of it. Don't tear anything up. So we have the opposite advice today. And as I look at this lineup, 4 out of the first 5 are rookies. You have William Byron, and then you have Kyle Larson and Daniel Suarez and Keselowski. So it'll be interesting to see how aggressive the 3 veterans are and how many mistakes, or if any, the young guys make.
But Kevin, just listen to Tim Feeda would tell him that. That's the pole sitter, right? He needs to get off of turn 1 in the lead, and if he does, Tim knows as a past race car driver and a spotter of a cup driver how important that clean area is and getting off of turn 1 in the lead.
Well, one other thing that's interesting here are the gear ratios, because the straightaways are so long, the rear gears, a lot lower than what we normally run. So you have some lag on the restarts, and I don't know exactly where the gearing is on everybody's car here, but it'll be interesting to see who gets going and who doesn't get going.
For sure. And something else I noticed too is that Kyle Benjamin, the 20, took the outside, which I think is a good move. I think. We'll see how it works out for him, but it'll be interesting also on these starts when you talk about shifting, Kevin, not only through this restart or the initial start here, but also through the corners. These Xfinity cars don't shift much like the Cup cars do, but you will see them probably grab third gear a few times when we start racing.
Well, we're going green for the 2nd time here in the Xfinity Series here at Pocono. So let's let the craziness begin and see what happens.
You see the 20 got a great start, was able to clear himself. Now he's in great position to get through turn 1.
Well, that went a lot better than I thought it was going to go.
A lot better for sure. But we're also heading down into the tunnel turn, and this is where it gets really tight, where you see these cars are 3 wide. That's not going to work. They want to get to 2 wide before they get there.
Well, that 3 wide was Kyle Larson and Brad Keselowski marching their way to the front as we expected them to. And guys, that's just experience, right? I mean, these kids are going off in there on a restart like that, knowing you got those Cup regulars that have been, 4 or 5 wide, maybe even more at times. That's just a little bit of experience showing up right there is what I thought.
I think that's where experience pays off the most, is on starts and things like this, because you have an idea what your car is going to do when you get into turn 1. If you've never raced here before, you don't know what dirty air is going to do. You don't know what happens when there's a car next to you. All those are things you have to learn.
Well, we saw Daniel Hemrick lose a couple spots. We saw the 22 and 18 move forward. So I think for me, from the experience side of things, I think the experienced guys probably rolled back up, let those guys get too wide, and knew they needed to get a good run off the corner.
Yeah, sometimes, we see that, and we talk about that 3-4 wide fan out getting into the corner. Just like you said, a lot of times it's better to let them, dive that thing off in there, slide up, and then be on the throttle early and beat them off turn 1, and you can beat them down to the tunnel turn. Again, that's just a little bit of experience showing up.
And I think over the past several weeks, we've seen a lot of guys spin out early in the races underneath guys. This particular series has a lower downforce package than they've raced before. How long does it take to get used to something like that? We've seen a lot of these guys spin out early in the race, and I think they forget because they've raced with those big spoilers so long. And here we have a battle for the lead. But and I think what you saw right there is William Byron driving in far and the front sliding out from underneath him.
I believe it was Justin Allgaier behind him.
Really tight, like 2 cars back, really loose, like 1-2.
Yeah, and there you hear Brad talking about how, as he gets closer to cars, his balance is changing a lot. And these cars don't have track bar adjusters. You can't fix your car as you get closer to somebody. So that's something these drivers will fight all day long. As it strings out like this, you'll get a car that balances pretty good by itself. And as you start catching the car in front of you, you have to start adjusting as a driver on what tire you're using the most. Maybe adjust your line a little bit. There's not much you can do here at Pocono as far as adjusting your line, but maybe you can find a couple different things to take care of your car in the right way to keep marching forward like you see the 22 doing right now.
Well, momentum is just such a premium, where we have the luxury of being able to shift. I call that a crutch. I call the track bar a crutch. You can mess up, a little bit getting into the corner, reach down and get 3rd gear, and it pulls you back off, and you can compensate for it because of shifting. These cars, they can't do that, like you said, Joey, and it makes that momentum even that much more important.
Well, with not a lot of experience here, there's a lot of younger drivers, a lot of guys who haven't raced a lot here, and I think we know, and I think you saw it in Happy Hour today, we run quite a few laps. And I think these guys, as they get to lap 7, 8, 9, 10, they're going to have problems that they probably didn't experience in practice that they're going to have to start navigating, and I think that's where you'll see the experience. Eric, what do you have down there?
I've been watching down here the 20 car. He's driving away from Justin Allgaier right now, and I've been thinking about his spotter, Tony Hirschman. Tony's got a lot of experience. Spots for Kyle Busch in the Cup Series. I worked with Tony for a long time in the Truck of the Xfinity Series, and he's going to show him the right way to do it today. Keep him calm, keep him focused, and keep him hitting his marks all day long.
And I think that's a really good point. I think experience here is definitely key.
That spotter-driver relationship, like they were talking about a little bit there, how, and there you see some tape, or it looks like, it still looks like the grill's open there. So hopefully he's okay there.
Something thin. It looks like it kind of pushed through some, whatever got on it, pushed through the
maybe it's just the paint that came off it. I think he's okay. But anyways, about that spotter, the spotter-driver relationship is so important, and especially when you come to a racetrack for the first time and the spotter's got a lot of experience, he can really help the driver along on not only restarts like we've been talking so much about today, but as the run keeps going and getting a feel for everything that's going on.
Yeah, we saw Brad Keselowski get around Suarez that last lap and put together a fast lap, 53.68 to 53.93 on your leader, Benjamin. The boy's coming.
Ricky, what do you have on the 6?
Well, I was talking to crew chief Seth Barber before the race, and they were starting to shift a lot. One of the only cars shifting, and they started 13th, fell back on that start there, but they said they didn't feel like they had the short run speed, but they felt like as the race went on that they were going to be able to continue to work their way up. They're building a little bit loose right now. You guys up there in the booth can probably tell us more about that.
Hey, Kevin, what are you thinking? If you're Darrell Wallace right now, you know this is your final ride, at least for the time being, in this Xfinity car in the number 6. What's your thoughts going into this race? Is this kind of you want to end on the best note you can, but it's kind of bittersweet at the same time? What's kind of your thoughts going into this?
Well, I think as you look at Darrell, he's had the best year that he's probably ever had in a car with the way that they've started this season. So I think he wants to go out and perform. He's got a lot of pressure on him this weekend, driving the 43 and trying to perform because he doesn't know when it's going to be the end. Kyle Benjamin still putting it to him so far, so we'll see if he can hang on to it after we get back from the break.
NASCAR Xfinity Series Racing is sponsored by Ford. Going further so you can. By Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR.
It's kind of up in the air if we're going to shift or not.
I wish we can shift an Xfinity car.
You guys are trying to ask like the speed secrets.
Yeah, definitely going to shift here.
I mean, in the past here in the Xfinity Series, I don't think they shifted at all, but I think this year there might be a chance of it.
Based on what we raced last year, we didn't shift because we didn't need to.
I'll be fairly comfortable with it. I've done it in the past.
Use your transmission to your advantage, especially slowing the cars down, getting into the corner.
Yeah, you just got to do what you need to do to go fast.
You're darn right we're asking all the speed secrets because we know about them. So there you see the 16 car shifting. I believe that's live. And he's, I don't know exactly where he is on the racetrack, but I think as you see this pace come down, don't you think we see more of a possibility of shifting?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, we're going back to that crutch I was talking about. As it slows down, you start pushing off into the corner. The car gets, tight in the center, reach down and get third gear, and then jerk it off that corner and help you a lot in the lap time.
And I've seen a lot of times, too, when you grab the third gear, it changes the balance of your car, too, a lot. So a lot of people change where they shift depending on their balance and how they can maybe, like you said, Boyer, a crutch to try to figure out how to get your car to get to the next stop the fastest you can.
We're inside Vernon Poole's car there. Now we're with Casey Mears. And you don't see either one of those guys reaching for the gear shifter yet. So if you haven't done it in practice, how nerve-wracking is it to go into the corner and downshift that thing for the first time when you know the RPM is close?
Well, and if you do it too soon, you're going to blow up. You're going to over-rev your motor, and then just everything goes really bad after that. But here you see Ryan Reed. He's doing it every single lap. This is something he's trying to do to make speed with his 16 Ford Mustang.
The other thing that it'll do getting into the corner, to really upset the car sometimes. You can make the car loose and come out from underneath you if you downshift too soon. Again, it's a good aid. We all use it to our advantage. And I remember the days when we didn't shift. Remember, there was a few years there they changed the rule and we didn't shift here, and it made that momentum thing a lot more challenging. You didn't just drive off in the corner with somebody. You gave your car a little bit of gap so you could keep that momentum and get off the corner and complete the pass off the corner instead of in.
Well, this guy right here in the 42, Kyle Larson, he's doing okay lately.
Yeah, I think he seems to be a pretty good driver. I think he's going to make it. Hey, Ryan, I got a question about the 22 with the garbage on the grill. You got an update on me?
Yeah, there was no garbage on the 22. It was a piece of paint when they pulled tape prior to the race, so there's no debris on it. 22 is super fast right now, but the nose is all good.
Thanks so fast it blew the paint off of it, boys. It's a good problem to have, right?
Good thing you got a paint sponsorship.
That's right. Paint it again. And here you got a good 3-car battle. Now right there, you're fighting a lot of dirty air with Justin Allgaier, Daniel Suarez, and Kyle Larson. Suarez can't do a whole bunch. He wants to try to get as close as he can, but as he gets closer, his balance is getting worse. And there you see him give a little bit of air to 42, and you can see how much Larson is able to get up next to him. Now he's going to side draft him all the way down the straightaway, trying to get into the tunnel turn ahead of him.
And there's an offense and defensive play there. You know, if you're the guy in front of him, you're trying to make, hit your marks, keep that thing right down on the bottom. Do not let him have that headlight, have that air on his nose. And you can do a lot of defense right there as well. It'll be interesting to see how Allgaier does versus Suarez. That 18 car got in the 7s there, washed up, enabled the 42 to get under him, and that's how it's done.
Well, Kyle Benjamin's led every single lap of the 14 that we've had so far. So we're 14 of 25 in this stage, and we'll be back.
Want to. Welcome back to Pocono Raceway. The tricky triangle aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything they learn making tires for the grueling demands of NASCAR inspires what rolls into yours. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. So today's a very special day here. We are doing a drivers only. We've got drivers all over the place, including right here inside the Hollywood Hotel. As you can kind of look over to the desk, we've got Denny Hamlin. That's Larry McReynolds. Right next to him is Denny Hamlin and Danica Patrick. And Denny, you're saying that we might possibly see some guys start to come down pit road and play the strategy.
Yeah, especially the back half of the top 10 or the Cup-only guys. The Menards, Suarez, guys that really don't care about stage points. They are within 10 seconds. You can now come in and pit, take 4 tires, and still be on the lead lap, and you'll be able to stay out all the way until the end of the second stage. So even some of the guys like Poole, you're only giving up 1 point here to then be at the very front of the pack for stage 2. So this could be an opportunity for them. What are the guys up front? What do you think you would do in this particular situation? You're in an Xfinity race. You don't care about the points. So do you pit right before the pit closes to then be up front later?
Yeah, I think you're definitely right. I think Poole, Custer, some of those guys who fell back at the beginning might take this opportunity to maybe adjust on their car so that they can have a chance of winning that second stage.
Guys up top, what do you think?
Well, I think it's going to be tight. I think you got to be about 11 seconds, 12 seconds, within 11 or 12 seconds of the leader. But I agree on the gamble. I mean, we're coming up, and the pits are going to close 2 laps before the stage ends. So
yeah, as we're seeing, passing's a premium, right? But I think that the answer to your question, Denny, you asked about the Cup regulars. I think they stay the course. They're running up front. They've got the speed. Keep the tires, you know, when you're to your advantage, and I think you'll be even better yet.
Sounds like we've got some issues with the 3. Let's hear what he has to say.
Yeah, he's been having brake trouble, so he's probably saving there, Mike. Hi, if you did have your brake fans on, just monitor it till we get this segment in. We need to know what we need to do with those brakes if they're going to get worse there. Yeah, I'm trying to take care of them. 10-4, you might have to use them later, though.
Yeah, and that's a tough spot to be in here because these are long straightaways, and the only way to not use as much brake is to let off sooner.
Especially this early in the race.
Yeah, but he did have a lot of tape on those brake ducts with those pull tabs that they can grab off. Eric, you got something on the 2?
Yeah, guys, I've been keeping my eye on Paul Menard here. He's been working his way up now to P4. Started off the race just too free everywhere except the tunnel turn. Said the car's really been coming around to him. You know, I've been here a couple times, and it seems like every time I've started off a little bit free on the front side, it always pays dividends on the back side. Ricky?
Yeah, talking to Justin Allgaier before the race, they were not really happy with their car during practice. Changed a lot, finished 39th in this race last year after running in the top 10. They're continuing to be too tight right now as spotter TJ Majors is talking through each corner with him, trying to help him get through there. And onto the 3, y'all were talking about his brakes. He started talking about his brakes fading on lap 12. He started shifting as well, so maybe to help save some of those brakes for later on in the race.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if Menard can keep making up ground. So we'll go to a double box break and see what happens when we come back. Welcome back to Pocono. We are 24 laps into the 25 of the first stage. And we had a lead change while we were gone. Let's see how it happened.
Yeah, and right there you see Brad really pulling back to 20, but you see a lap car in front of him. It makes you think that something must have happened off of turn 1 where Kyle Benjamin lost momentum behind the lap car, most likely, and Brad was able to take advantage of that loss of momentum from the 20.
Yeah, and I think the lap before that, Kyle Benjamin ran like a 56 something, so he was 2 seconds off the pace, so something definitely happened.
Guys, we've also had another development. Cole Custer pitted. He came in and took 4 tires there, got out just ahead of the leader to stay on this strategy that Denny Hamlin was talking about right before we went to break.
Well, Brad Keselowski is going to win this stage, take the checkered flag there, and let the games begin to see if everybody's going to be looking at the 0-0 there to see how this strategy plays out on this next restart. But Brad Keselowski had the best car that run and wound up winning the stage.
And I like what Cole Custer did right there. He pitted and he was 13 seconds back. That's further back than we thought you can do that and make it back out. And he came out about, what, 20 car lengths in front of the leader? That's a gutsy call, because if you have a little fumble on the pit stop, you're down a lap.
Gutsy call, but those are the ones that pay dividends.
Denny, what do you have down there?
Yeah, hey guys, he's the only one that can make it on one more stop. So it totally makes sense. He gave up one spot here, or one position, or in 1 point, stage point, to now he's going to be the leader. Everyone else who pits here is still going to have to make another stop in stage 3. So this is a total win for the 0-0.
And it was a huge gamble for sure. But like you say, you're not going to win these races unless you take a little bit of a gamble every once in a while. So we'll see how it all plays out when we come back here at Pocono. Welcome back to Pocono, and we've got a lot of strategy that's, well, not a lot of strategy. We have a little bit of strategy from the 00 that's getting ready to play out here, but I think everybody on pit road is watching, and our chief analyst down there, our fill-in Larry McReynolds, has a little bit to tell us about it. Did he?
Yeah, I think, you know, the 00 essentially just played the road course strategy here. He ran this race backwards to where now he can make it on one more stop, and now he has options at the end of stage 2. So we know he's going to start on the front row here for stage 2, but when stage 2 is over, he has options. He can either choose to stay out again and then just pit as soon as he reaches that last fuel window and then take tires at that point and fuel, or he could go ahead and take his tires at the end of stage 2 and then just do a fuel only in the middle of that third stage. Me personally, I think he should stay out. I think keeping that track position the entire way, only being on pit road the fewest amount of times, will be the best strategy for him.
Well, we're going to see what happens here on pit road, and I think the 22 and 42 will be interesting. Eric?
We got Kyle Benjamin coming down pit road here at Pocono for the first time, sliding to his stop in his pit box. He's been too tight on entries into 1 and 3. Hoping stickers are going to help free him up. He got a wedge wrench going in the right rear. Hoping to make some good adjustments to help him on the run. Ricky?
Yeah, I got the 7 Justin Allgaier just pulled in his pit box. He's got a little brake fade, but they're not taking any brake tape off. A little tight. He's doing a little wedge in the right rear. Round in the right rear. Tires are down. Clean pit stop and out the door. Down to Ryan.
Well, the 22's coming in for no adjustments. Just a little tug on the right front fender where he believes he got into the 20 a little bit. Had to stop short for the 42. We'll see the race on pit road, guys.
Well, the 20 had a great pit stop there. The 22 lost one, and Paul Menard gained another spot. He's been slowly but surely coming up through the field. So it'll be interesting to me to see how that plays out all day, because we talked about the 22 and the 42. Having to go around each other for the pit stops, and that's probably why Brad was a little slower, because he couldn't get in there straight. Let's see what the 20 has to say there, Boyer.
Yeah, Kyle, this is Boyer up in the booth. Man, you're holding pretty well. Had that clean air to your advantage. You used that. The boys got you a good pit stop there. You're doing a good job. What do you think?
Uh-oh.
Well, we're rookies up here.
Channel 2.
Let's try again.
Try channel 2 here. Kyle Benjamin, Boyer up in the box. You got us? This is not my fault.
I don't think we're going to be talking to Kyle Benjamin today.
He might be. If I was him, I'd ignore us too, huh?
Try again on the first channel.
We're trying again.
We're having some technical difficulties up here.
Kyle Benjamin is Boyer up in the booth. You got us?
10-4, yeah.
All right, buddy. Hey, we've had our eye on you. Big fans up here. You've made fans out of us. You've had that clean air. You started up front. Use it to your advantage. Looked like lap traffic gave you a little bit of a fit there, but so far so good. What do you think?
I think we have a pretty fast high-sense Toyota right now. It's working on logging laps and getting experience. Pretty confident we have a car that can stay up front and win this race today.
Well, just seeing you 2 appearances in the Xfinity Series, let me tell you something. You're doing a heck of a job. Keep it up.
Appreciate it. Means a lot coming from you.
Well, I think as he was getting pushed down pit road by the 42, and on the restarts, he's getting 2 wide, 3 wide, and Brad passing him, rubbing him a little bit with the fenders. But stage 1, Kyle Benjamin, Allgaier, Byron, Hemrick, Poole. Stage points are important. First 3 in the points scored the most stage points. So we'll be back.
Welcome back to Pocono Raceway. Beautiful day here at the racetrack, and you're in for an awesome day of an all-driver broadcast today. So speaking of a bunch of rookies doing a job, we've got a rookie out there doing an incredible job, Kyle Benjamin. I'm telling you, he's impressing me a lot. Just looking at his lap times, he's incredibly consistent. He held on to the lead for a really long time, held off Keselowski, but eventually second. But he's in amongst a bunch of great guys, Larson, Menard, a bunch of pros. So I'm impressed. How about you, Denny?
Yeah, he's doing a great job. We're about to go to green, but he's definitely not letting those rookie stripes to hinder him at all.
Here we go as the drivers approach the Geico restart zone. Headed down into turn 1.
Right here, we'll see how Cole Custer does with 3 laps or so on his tires here. You see Brad Keselowski going 3 wide into turn 1.
Yeah, they got Kyle Benjamin 3 wide there. That was just, you know, you want to pull down and block that run, and Brad timed the run behind him to where he enabled him to get up beside the 20. Get to second place here, but Cole Custer's holding on to it. That's tires. That strategy, huh?
I think that was probably best case scenario for Cole Custer. He got a good restart up on the outside. He was in control of the race and able to get clean air. So, you know, I think this is definitely going to be interesting to see how the new tires play out with the sticker tires. Eric?
Yeah, listening to the 20s radio before the restart, it was fun to listen to Chris Gabehart talking through the restart procedures and rules and everything else. But not is that only enough for Kyle Benjamin. They're trying to get him to save fuel here at Pocono, which is a tall task for Mr. Benjamin. He's never been in a situation to save fuel before. It's going to be fun to watch him try to go about it the rest of the day.
And that is an art in itself, saving fuel. And I don't know what you guys do or what you think is the best way, but there's definitely options here at Pocono to figure out how to save fuel.
All I know is I've run out of gas a lot and never won a race on fuel mileage, so I might not be the guy to ask.
But darn, Joey, you're fast.
You know, here, even more so than a lot of places, a lot of times you start backing it up, saving fuel, and all of a sudden the crew chief's yelling at you more. You're not saving, you keep backing it up, you go faster at a track like this. You know, you might see that and use it to your advantage.
And this is the Hornet's Nest down here. So let's hear what Ricky has to say about the 11.
Yeah, the 11 of Blake Cook had a really good practice and felt really good about his car. He told me he was a little bit free, a little bit loose throughout practice, and it was coming to him. He started the race too tight, and that's where his speed is gone, he feels like. So he's been a little tight turns 1 and 3, took some wedge out of that left rear during that pit stop, but he reported a vibration. The guy said that everything looked good with the tires. They were all tight. I had a vibration in practice. We had to change a drive shaft, and it fixed my vibration. So could be something to look for as the race continues. He's trying to work his way back up through the field right now.
And I heard the professional analyst talking about the 11 car while they were in qualifying. Let's hear what Justin Allgaier has to talk about first.
All these guys in front of me are wrecking loose, and I'm already tight. We're going to be in trouble here. It's really tight still.
And this is definitely what we were talking about early in the race. You know, these guys get to worrying about the scoreboard and how fast their car is running. But if you are tight here in a couple laps,
it's just going to keep getting tighter. And Justin knows that. You can hear him. He says, we're going to be in big trouble. And there's nothing he can really do inside the car besides just trying to save that right front tire the best he can and not abuse it too much for the next 16 laps.
Ryan, what you have on the 42?
Yeah, well, Larson's made his way up a pretty good ways in that first stage. He's been battling a really tight race car. We all know Larson likes to drive really loose race cars, and loose is fast to him and a lot of people. They made some adjustments there in the first round of pit stops, took some wedge out of that car. We'll see where he goes from here.
And it looked like Larson lost some spots on pit road that time. I know he was up to 3rd, and he restarted, I think it was 7th or so. So I know they've took the time at least to make some adjustments to it and see if we can get back through the field again.
I really like what I see in the Xfinity Series as far as these stage lengths. I mean, it enables these crew chiefs, these teams, to be able to take a gamble like we see with Custer, still holding on to that lead, and looks to be sitting pretty for stage 2 stage points, in a big way. Huge gain.
Well, Cole Custer still leads. The strategy seems to be playing off pretty well for him. So we're 10 laps in of 25 into stage 2. Welcome back to Pocono. And as in racing all the time, we go to commercial and they change spots for the lead. So it just never fails. So Brad Keselowski leading, took it from Cole Custer. Let's see how it happened.
Yeah, right here you see Brad Keselowski getting a little bit of air on that left front and able to turn up under Cole Custer. And it's probably having a little better tires, and he has a fast race car. He proved that in the first segment. And there you see Brad able to power right by.
Yeah, and I think when Joey's talking about getting a little air, you just see Brad staying closer to the yellow line and being able to hold that yellow line longer. And Cole's obviously fighting either a little bit loose or a little bit tight.
Well, I just think that's those tires catching up to you. You know what I mean? But I think Cole's done a great job. It's a good story this year. Kevin, you know more about him than anybody.
Let's take a look at today's Ford Performance Track Facts. Obviously, this is only the second race that we've had here at Pocono. The first one only went 53 laps, just past halfway because of rain. It's a great place for these guys to come race because this is a great racetrack and a lot of fun. So, Joey, you're holding the banner for Ford there.
Yeah, well, it looks like Brad's going to beat that, and that's good. Only 5th place is not good enough, believe me. And something I heard Brad do when he was passing Cole Custer, you heard him downshift the 3rd gear when he was right behind him, and that's how you may be able to see him power up next to him.
You think Brad's just showing off, putting his hand out the window, knowing that we're
what was he doing there, Joey?
I don't know. Maybe maybe he's a little warm. He's just getting a little cool air. You know, he's up front. He's in some fresh air. He's happy.
Seems like he's overheating on every straightaway.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? Poor guy's hot. Give him a water.
It's almost like he's filling up.
I tell you what, we talk a lot about this 22 car and how it hasn't won. But it's run so well this year, and I think every time the 22 car is close to winning, the 12 wins. So it's definitely been good performance, and I think Joey, you can probably speak more about that than I can. But it's looked like the cars have run well.
Yeah, they have run really well, and here you see another great race, and you see the 20 of Kyle Benjamin. He does have those tires, and this is where clean air versus tires is going to kind of change it up.
Well, I think as you look at the 00, when he pitted, he was 10th. He's still running 2nd. So I think this only being 9 laps from the end of the stage here, it looks to me like this gamble is going to pay off for them. And that's the best way to gain track position, is to gain it by strategy and not have to work at it like Kyle Benjamin is here, knowing that he's at a deficit. Denny, Danica, what do you guys have down there?
Yeah, I'm watching this race and I'm thinking, what do you do next? What is the next move? Because to me, I'm looking and I'm seeing at the starting lineup for the start of the 2nd segment, and I'm looking at the lineup now, and it looks very similar. So to me, it's a track position race. So, Denny, if you're a crew chief sitting on pit road right now, what's your move?
Well, I think it kind of depends on where you're at. I think some of these guys still could take advantage of this, short pit strategy before the end of this stage to move up. To start stage 3 up front. Then, for Cole Custer, I think probably if you finish somewhere in the top 4 to 5 here at the end of this stage, you go ahead and do all your business on pit road. You take your fuel and your tires, and then you just do fuel or tires if you've dropped off in that final stage. So overall, definitely a win for those guys, and I think some of the other crew chiefs are probably seeing this, thinking it could pay off for them as well. Really up to about 11th place right now, could still pit and still be on the lead lap.
Denny, I think you're definitely going to see more guys do it than we did in the first stage, because Cole Custer is definitely going to come out on the positive side, don't you think?
Definitely. I definitely think so. Especially, guys like Sadler, Byron. If you're only going to gain 1 or 2 points right here in this stage, you need to set yourself up for a good finish. That's going to pay off more than just those 1 or 2 stage points.
Well, and you've got a guy like Larson and Elliott Sadler, who scored a ton of points. Daniel Hemrick with 1 point there, and Ty Dillon running 11th, who is out of the points along with Darrell Wallace, all still within that window that could pit. So
yeah, they're all 8 to 11 seconds or so back behind the leader, which is, we've seen already Cole Custer take that gamble and really pay off for him. So you may see this happen again in the next 5 laps or so.
Well, we're 18 laps into stage 2 out of 25. Brad Keselowski is putting it to him right now.
Welcome back to Xfinity Series Racing from Pocono, presented by Coyote Tractor. What a special day. Drivers only here for the Pocono Green 250. Denny Hamlin, Danica Patrick hanging out in the Hollywood Hotel. Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, and Clint Boyer upstairs. Kevin, it's all yours.
See, they let the professionals do the Coyote tractors because they knew that we were confused and may get tongue-tied on several occasions. But as we were at break, we saw the 33 pit, and now we have several cars coming to pit road. Eric?
We got the 2 coming in for pit stops. He's been a little bit free again yet here on this last run and working his way forward. The car is still coming around to him. I've really liked the speed that he's been showing. A wedge wrench in the back and trying to tighten this thing up again a little bit more for him. Ryan?
Yeah, the 18 of Daniel Suarez, you see them pitting early, trying to leapfrog and try to get some track position here for this next and final stage. He's been loose in and tight on exit. They'll take 4 tires and fuel and see if that helps him out.
Well, that definitely changed.
Yeah, and I like what, you know, we all saw Custer take advantage of this situation in a big way. Huge points gained right there, and everybody's following the leader there and trying to take advantage of it for this last stage.
And that's what makes stage racing so cool, is that you see 22 car Brad Keselowski's got a very fast race car. He's proven this in 2 stages already, but now he's going to be starting at least 6. I think 6 cars came down pit road, so he might be 7th or so on the start, and you're going to have to pass the field again to try to win this race. But he's too far up front to give away those valuable stage points and playoff points that come with this.
Again, it comes back to these stage points, these links to these stages in the Xfinity Series. I like that. I like how it creates strategy, creates some environment within these races. It's going to be fun and interesting as we get down to the end of this thing.
Well, when you see all the strategy start to take play and you have the green flag pit stops, you're going to have mistakes. 3 car too fast entering there on pit road, so that'll be harder to overcome than just a few track position cars that pitted before you.
Yeah, that's a big one for sure.
And right there you see Daniel Hemrick right in front of the 22 car. That's how tight it is. He took that risk just like Cole Custer. He's coming out right in front of the leader there, and he just got to hold off Brad for one more lap. And he's going to be the last car on the lead lap, and when everyone cycles through, he should be in the top 6 or 7.
That is panic right there if you're in the car looking back there and the leader's coming right behind you. They spit you out. Your tires are low on air pressure. The thing's pushing. It might be on a splitter a little bit. Come on, baby. We got to keep that car behind us. Crew chief's in your ear, giving a little bit of cheerleading. That's a pretty intense situation for sure.
Well, Brad Keselowski won the first stage. You see him going around the lap car of the 52 there. And it looks to me like he's going to win. All he's got to do is make it off turn 3, and he's going to win stage 2. So we know the speed of that 22 car is really good, as he's going to win the second stage here. But man, has the strategy played out, and he's going to have to pass a few more in the next stage.
Like what I see now, boys. It's shaping up well.
You see Cole Custer finish up 3rd there. That bet was definitely worth it for him. Oh, we got a spin here.
Got Paul Menard on the wall.
Up front.
And that's really strange.
Yeah, he was one of the guys who took advantage of pitting right there and trying to get on the right cycle at the end of this thing. I don't know what happened, but see on the replay.
Well, I can tell you at the end of these stages, it becomes hard because they race to the start-finish line with the top 10 cars. And as those cars start to slow down, some cars may not have. Let's see what happened here. Oh, he just lost it.
Gets loose.
Man, that's unfortunate. Just a terrible time to have that happen for anybody, especially coming off a pit road. Those cars seemed like they were side by side there. Maybe just made some dirty air and got him loose.
Well, you hear everybody talking about how tight their cars are getting, so they want to make sure their cars are as loose as possible when they take off, and you have to manage that as a driver the best that you can to try to make the most speed.
Oh, it is?
Welcome back to Pocono. We've had a lot of strategy play out here. What? Why are you pointing at me?
Well, he's doing social media on your phone right there.
Michael is my social media director today, so if you see some crazy stuff popping up on my Twitter account, and Michael's got my phone.
Why did you do that?
Well, I figured
it's riskier than what Cole Custer did.
I saw him next door drinking beer, so I figured he needed something to do today. So we decided to give him my phone.
Pits are open, boys. Let's see what happens.
Well, I think we had 6 of them stay out. Obviously, the 22 cars got the fastest car, and you had those 6 guys that played strategy. Custer obviously had a net gain of 7 positions there on that particular run, so definitely paid off for him. What are you doing here, Boyer?
I'm trying to put as many cars in between me and the 22 as possible, some way, somehow, if I'm a crew chief. I mean, he's the car to beat.
You see the 22 stay out.
Stays out.
And the 42 and the 20.
Eric?
48 of Brennan Poole coming into his pit stall. They've gotten the car a lot better today. They started out a little bit free entry. The last adjustment has helped them a lot. They're just a little bit tight landing into 3, so they're going to make an air pressure adjustment and hope this is going to get the car a little bit better. Ricky?
Yeah, the 00 Cole Custer comes into his pit. Jeff Mindering, pioneer of the pit before the stage is up, decided to wait until the stage was over here. Cole Custer's tight, going to go up on the track bar. He's in and out. Ryan, down to you.
The 22 car, Brad Keselowski, decided to stay out. They figured track position was very important. They have a fast enough car. We've seen that. So we'll see where their strategy plays out. Back to you guys.
Well, I can tell you this. We had a whole booth of no, you can't do this, you can't do that, and we got 2 trustworthy stat guys sitting over here that obviously could be crew chiefs or have sat up here long enough to be a crew chief. So that was pretty impressive. They called that one on this car staying out.
Well, we have to see if it works first.
Well, it's going to work because he's going to pit under green, and the field's going to be bunched up, and these guys are going to have the cleanest air possible because the cars aren't going to be strung out yet, in my opinion.
Yeah, and he's got a little bit of a cushion behind him, you know, with Kyle Benjamin, Kyle Larson on the same amount of laps on their tires as Brad does. He's got a little bit of cushion there that there's not going to be someone that has way fresher tires that's going to be pressuring him as long as he has a good restart here.
And we keep getting caught up in everything, but Kyle Benjamin is sitting there still in 2nd place doing a heck of a job.
Yes, he is for sure.
Let's see if Kyle Larson will answer me. Kyle Larson, clipboard to booth.
What up?
Well, we're watching you here. You staying out. Been a lot of strategy taking place today. I like what I see. How are you going to get ahead of that 22?
I don't know. He's extremely fast. Him and the 20 are really, really good. I feel like I'm 3rd or 4th best. It's just so hard to pass. And the engines don't have a lot of power, so it's hard to get runs on people. A little bit frustrating, but we're working hard to try and get our ENEOS Chevy to the front. We just got to see if this strategy stuff works out for us.
Well, we're seeing clean air's king. These restarts are important, so we're looking for big things down there in turn 1, all right?
All right, sounds good.
Well, we had another speeder. Darrell Wallace too fast off of pit road. See some of these guys stacking up some stage points today. Kyle Benjamin with 18, and Allgaier doing what he's done all year, piling them up.
NASCAR Xfinity Series Racing is sponsored by KFC's new spicy crispy zinger chicken sandwich. It's finger licking good. And by Hep C Hope.
Welcome back to the all-driver broadcast here at Pocono for the Xfinity race, and lots of interesting stuff going on. There's nobody barely pitted before the first segment, and then now a bunch of people pitted before the second. We've got all kinds of things going on with pit road penalties. Denny, what do you think?
I have a new strategy. We're going to make it. We're going to make it the whole way. I think that's what the 3 and the 4 are thinking. They just came in and topped off. If there is 2 to maybe 3 cautions from here to the end, there could be some guys try to stretch this and make it all the way. So I think there's going to be a lot of different strategies. I don't like the strategy of staying out here. These guys are going to have to make a 14-second pit stop where all these other ones are going to do fuel only.
Well, we're coming to the Geico restart zone to see how it's all going to play out. Lots of strategy. Here we go.
See the fan out like crazy there. And Larson was right on the 20, and you see how that draft works and able to push a 20 right up next to Brad. And
to the lead.
See, look at Kyle Benjamin being able to take that from Brad Keselowski. That's very impressive. Brad's a good restarter and a lot of experience as well. To see a rookie do that shows a lot about his car and how good Kyle is actually doing here.
Well, these guys want to put up as much pace as possible, too, because if this thing goes green, there's varying strategies, and there's a lot of cars that are going to try to put 2 tires on. And you heard Denny there might be some guys that try to stretch it and back the pace up. So your pace matters when you're at the front of this field, especially when you have all this green flag pitting.
Yeah, you got 3 or 4 different strategies here that are going to play out here, and you know, I think with 40 laps or so that you can go green, you might see some cars pit here in the next 3, 4, 5 laps or so, and just trying to take that gamble, get themselves in a decent track position for when that caution does come out, if it does.
Eric, what do you have down there?
I'm down here with Chris Gabehart, crew chief on the 20 car of Kyle Benjamin. Chris, your driver's been doing a great job all day. What's the strategy call here to stay out, and what's he going to do? What's his job?
Wow, Bones, I think you could be a pro at this. That was really good. So we're just trying to do minimum time on pit road, keep him up front. He's inexperienced. Obviously got a ton of speed in both him and the Hisense Toyota Camry, but I just want to keep clean racetrack, keep him focused. We're going to do a pit stop here as soon as we get into our window and be good to the end.
All right, thank you, Chris. Back to the booth.
Bones. That's a new nickname for Eric Jones right there.
Well, I bet you those pit reporters, the professional pit reporters, were like, well, how come he can climb up on that box?
Yeah, exactly. I was hoping you'd give us a little more inside scoop. We just need to know the exact lap he was going to pit, Eric.
Well, he's leading one of the best in the business right there. The guy who's won the first 2 stages in Brad Keselowski. Kyle Benjamin doing a great job.
NASCAR Xfinity Series Racing is sponsored by Hep C Hope and by Liberty Mutual Insurance, helping drivers worry less. So let's take a look at how Brad Keselowski's spotter Joey Meyer helped him worry less on that last restart.
Half back both lanes, green, green, green. Your lane's moving better. The 18's coming with you. Half back. 42 is going to push to 20. That inside lane's going to come back to you. You're clear cornerback, but he's going to come back to you. Inside lane will come back to you. You're still too wide up top. Inside. Clear either lane.
That's our Liberty Mutual Insurance spotter coverage, and there they are, high above the 2.5-mile racetrack. Kevin?
I don't trust those guys anymore, because sitting up in this booth, they can't see anything.
That was my first thought when I got up here. I'm supposed to trust this guy going into that tunnel turn that I can't hardly even see, telling me I'm 2, 3, 4 wide over there? Nah, not a chance. Not trusting him.
I guess they do have binoculars. Ricky?
Yeah, Bubba Wallace coming in for a pit stop. Car's not handling like he wants, doesn't have the speed. They're going to see how many laps they can go here, how many stops, and you know, just trying to work this track position and strategy to work this car up to the front.
Well, there's 38 laps to go, and really this is what you want to do. You want to be the first one to pit road so that you can gain the most advantage off those tires and gain the most time on the set of tires. Let's see how this pass for the lead happened. Looks to me like pretty much the same way he's passed everybody else, just able to hold that low line better going through turn 1 and stay in the gas.
Definitely seeing where Brad is the strongest for sure is getting off of turn 1.
Seeing a lot of guys down on pit road right now, Kevin.
Yeah, we've got the 48, the 3, 00. We've got a bunch of them, and that's just falling right into the strategy. Ricky?
Yeah, the 00 fired off a lot tighter than he wanted to. They're doing fuel only right here, so that's pretty interesting to see how that's going to play out.
Again, this goes back to what you were talking about there. You got to be the first one off of pit road. The clean air we're seeing is a big way, in especially a premium today. So I like that strategy.
It's all about time. And here comes the 22.
I'll get some smooth here, nice and smooth. Pit road speed starts right here.
As you see the 22 coming down pit road here, I think they obviously have put themselves in a box to put 4 tires on here. So it's going to be the game of 4 tires on the 22 and no tires and just fuel on the 00. So it's just a time game, and you have to see how it all plays out. Ryan?
Yeah, the 22 of Brad Keselowski coming down pit road for 4 tires and fuel. It's been a little tight today. You were just talking about it, the 4-tire game and no-tire game. It's all about timing. We'll see if he can make up that time on the racetrack.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting how this all plays out. Once everyone cycles through and we can start to see where everyone's going to be, it'll be interesting to see who the actual leader is going to be.
Well, we've got 36 laps to go, so those, according to what we have, is right on the edge of the fuel window. And I think some of those guys may have pitted early, because when you talk to these crew chiefs a lot, they're like, well, we're going to pit a lap or 2 early, banking on a caution. Well, if that caution doesn't come out, there's going to be a lot of trouble for a few of these cars. 21 on pit road of Daniel Hemrick here. Ryan?
Yeah, the 21 of Daniel Hemrick on pit road. He's been fighting a loose condition in that car all day. The seams in the racetrack are really bothering him coming off of each corner. They'll try to tighten him up just a little bit. The 42 of Kyle Larson also on pit road. He's been kind of tight all day and just needs to get back to the throttle a little bit better to get off the corner. His brakes have been very soft today, so hopefully he can get off those a little bit more.
And I don't think anybody was expecting the racing to be as green flag as it has been today. And when you start talking about brakes, here comes our leader, Kyle Benjamin.
4600. Compensate if we need right here.
And that's where you said nothing fancy here. This is where if you go a little bit too far, the penalty of speeding is huge. Eric?
And the 20 of Kyle Benjamin on pit road, hopefully for the last time today. Probably his first ever green flag pit stop coming in. Don't see any adjustments so far. Kyle's been quiet on the radio. John Eicher, the gas man, making sure that thing is going to be packed full of fuel. It's important to get every ounce you can in.
And as Kyle Benjamin finishes up his pit work there, that looked pretty good. You know, for a young guy who's only run 2 races to come in and have to make a green flag pit stop, which I would think that they practiced here, he did a great job. And as long as we don't hear about any speeding penalties, it looked like everything went smooth.
It's just So looking forward to seeing how this is all going to play out here. Need a few more laps, make sure everybody pits. Going to see what we got.
Here comes Daniel Suarez. He was the current leader. Ryan, what you have down there?
Daniel Suarez in the 18 car was running fourth, top 3 cycled and pitted. He was one of those who short pitted before segment 2 to try to leapfrog everybody. He's kind of been loosing and tight in the center all day long. We'll see what they do if they do 4 tires, I'm guessing, just to try to keep up with that lead pack. They do 2 tires, so he's trying to leapfrog the top 3. We'll see if that plays out for him.
Yeah, and that's that strategy we talked about. If you pitted the caution before and put 4 tires on, you don't have that many laps on your left side tire, so you can put rights on and try to jump out in front of all of them. And then that didn't work. We just heard the 18 speeding down pit road.
Costly mistake right there.
And then we have Brendan Gong, who we hear is going to try to stretch the fuel mileage.
Are we saving any fuel? We're doing good. A lot of guys just did fuel only, so you saw the 33 with just 2 holes left. So I really think we'll stick to our guns and try to be the best car with the most fuel and hope for a caution at the end.
And that's the old crew chief strategy there, hoping for a caution at the end, because sometimes you don't get it here. This has a green flag feel that it's had all day. So, but like we said earlier, if you don't roll the dice, you never know.
NASCAR Xfinity Series Racing is sponsored by Cialis and by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. And aerial coverage here at Pocono provided by Goodyear. Everything they learn making tires for the grueling demands of NASCAR inspires what rolls into yours. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. And now it's time for our race summary presented by Coyote Tractor. Justin Allgaier currently the leader, 28 cars on the lead lap, and it's been Brad Keselowski who has led the way in both of the stages. We've got 29 laps to go. Kevin, guys, it's all yours.
Is it Coyote?
Yeah, I think
Coyote?
that's what it is. Coyote.
Coyote.
Okay,
Coyote.
We're just making sure. We're making sure you're on top of your game. We're just up here hacking away.
We've been confused up here on what the 7 of Justin Allgaier, Brendan Gaughan, what they're going to be doing. They don't seem to be saving fuel. And if there is a caution at the end, which it seems like they need to make it, they're going to be on some really old tires with cars behind them that have fresher tires on.
Absolutely. Denny, you're Larry Mack. How many laps are they shy? I mean, they've got 33, 32 seconds to these guys that are coming from the back. I'm thinking you've made the bed, you got to lie in it, don't you?
Absolutely. They're going to lie the whole way. They're in big trouble. The only thing they can really try to do is run this out enough to where if a caution does come out, then they drag people behind them that want to come and get tires. So they're just trying to get track position a different way by, they're not going to make it. There's no way they can make it unless they have a bunch of caution laps. So they need to just run this probably 10 more laps, hope a caution comes out, pit, and then bring a lot of people with them on pit road.
Well, I think the 00 is definitely the first guy of those who pitted, and I think when all this plays out, if there's no cautions or anything, the 2 tires compared to Brad Keselowski's 4 tires, Brad has made up some ground, but it seems to be getting closer and closer on lap time.
You're watching the race right here. Cole Custer, Elliott Sadler, Brad Keselowski. This is the race for the win, as far as I can tell.
And those lap times will keep getting closer and closer because Brad's getting in dirty air. And he can't take advantage of the speed that he needs to make up right now. So he's got to get by these 2 cars in front of him and keep trying to charge forward in case something does happen.
Well, most of that, Joey, is me not paying attention to what was going on to this big screen right next to me. I didn't figure out that Brad was right behind the 00 car, so that's why he's running the same speed. Justin Allgaier leads. Welcome back to Pocono, where we pretty much tried to take over. I think we got off to a little bit of a nervous start, but I think right now it's flowing pretty well. So it's we're going to have another guy up in the booth who we probably need up here next week, Austin Dillon. He was pretty good at saving fuel.
Absolutely.
At Charlotte, so he'll be in the booth next week when we get to Michigan. Oh yeah, and we'll have the 2 professionals back as well.
Yes, this has been great job security for all the professional people that
absolutely
cover this racing for us on our behalf. Thank you for letting us sit in all you guys, Michael, Double A, all this. This is fun and all, but man, it's getting hectic with all this strategy going on. There's a lot to cover.
Ricky?
Yeah, I'm here with the crew chief of the number 7, Jason Burdett. As the caution comes out here, Jason, what's the strategy? You're on a different strategy than everybody else.
Well, we're just trying to do something totally different than everybody right now. You know, it's our only chance. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, sorry there, guys. He's trying to figure out what he's going to do with the strategy here. Wanted that caution with 10 to go, pit, put new tires on, and hopefully everybody else has old tires for him.
That's an interesting place to crash, as you see Brendan Jones down there, down into turn 1. Makes you wonder what happened there, but this is definitely going to change the strategy up quite a bit.
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting spot to crash here.
Oh, it's a little left rear tire. Turning straight right into the outside wall, and away it goes.
And as teams, that's something that everybody here is always pushing the limit on, is how low can you go on those left side tires before they start coming apart and you know, causing damage to them. So Goodyear makes a great tire, but as teams we do everything we can to maximize the performance.
Yeah, I wonder what that Fox thought. That's right where that Fox was in qualifying today, and it went in the hole. I bet that woke him up a little bit when the 33 hit the wall. Here's a replay of qualifying earlier today.
Pretty chill.
He was just watching qualifying, minding his own business. It seemed like everything was okay. The old Fox den right there.
I love it.
How many?
The boys have been outfoxed. Oh, they got him.
Oh, they got him. I never saw that they got him.
Come out either. Well, I'm sure there's several of them laying down in their motorhome like that Fox was on the warm asphalt down there, just going, man, those guys are clowns up there.
Well, boys, now what? Now what we have on our hands? I mean, the strategy game plays on. Caution comes out like some of them were asking for and hoping for. Justin Allgaier, Brendan Gaughan. Denny, what do you think?
All right, here's what Justin needs to do. He needs to just stay out. Forget pitting. He needs to stay out, hope for another caution or even another. And you know, at the end of these Xfinity races, I know last year they had a tough time getting through turn 2 on restart. So I would just bank on, you know, there's going to be more cautions and you can stretch it there at the end.
That's 47 laps, bud. That's a long ways. How many caution laps do you think he needs?
He pitted with 47 to go, but there was 3 more. He's got 3 caution laps in the bank already. So really, that number's maybe 45. And so with this caution here, it goes down to 43. 1 or 2 more cautions, he's right at 40. So if he wants to win the race, I think stay out and hope for cautions. If he wants a good finish, go ahead and pit.
Well, the pits are open. We're going to see what happens here.
All right, Burdett, does that help us or hurt us? Yeah, that's a really good question. But I was hoping that we'd run about 5 more, we'd pit, and then the yellows come out, and we'd be good to go.
Eric?
The 62 Brendan Gaughan come down pit road here. They've been a little bit tight here after the beginning of the race. They've worked all the loose out of it. They're going to go down on front air pressure, make a track bar adjustment. Looks like 4 tires are going to go on, and he's going to be down away. Ricky?
Yeah, Justin Allgaier slides into his pit box. Going to go back on the air pressure adjustment a little bit. They feel like it went a little too far. They were really hoping for that caution within the last 10 laps, but you know, they didn't get it. So we'll see how this plays out with 4 new Goodyear tires down to Ryan.
Yeah, Jeremy Clements in the 51 car has kind of battled a little bit of a lack of track position today. He's been just really tight taking off, and we all know if you're tight taking off on these restarts, it's really hard to maintain or gain. So they'll come in for 4 tires and try and freed him up here for this last little stint.
Wow, we have a lot going on. So we've got all 4 tires on the cars that just pitted. Cole Custer's our leader on 2 tires who came right in.
Brad Keselowski's
on 4. So we don't know how this is all going to play out.
It's going to be fun.
We'll see.
I love restarts everywhere we go, and here in Pocono they're going to be just a little bit crazier.
There's such a long ways from the restart zone all the way to turn 1.
You're not kind of like coming out of a corner or in the middle of a corner like some of the shorter tracks, a mile and a half. Everyone's just straight.
If you're on the bottom line, you're going to be able to try and make some moves on the inside, and if you're on the top, you're going to try and draft down the straightaway and try and get a good run into turn 1.
Sometimes you win, and sometimes you lose.
Well, I'm telling you what, I know that restarts have been fairly calm today, but business is getting ready to pick up. We've got 19 laps to go. I got it all right in front of me, and I still can't spit it out. We've got 19 laps to go, and I'll promise you the give and take won't be as friendly as it has been so far.
Well, I think that, and also you have different strategies. You have some cars, Justin Allgaier, who just pitted and put 4 tires on. He's 11th right now. He's got to be aggressive right now. His whole race is on the line. He's got to get 4 or 5 spots if he can on the start and try to jump a few. And then you have drivers like Cole Custer, Brad Keselowski, that have a little older tires on their car, and especially Cole Custer with probably the oldest, I think, because he did that fuel-only stop. So there's 4 or 5 different strategies going on right now, and it's all coming together on this one restart.
Well, I noticed a little something earlier, and that was with Eric Jones. I don't know if you guys noticed, but right around, let's say here, we got a lot going on. So
Does have a lot
we got a little
going
bit
on.
of a history lesson here for a few.
Mullet Magazine. Oh my.
Mike Gundy. That is
cowboy
pretty
cut.
clean. That one's, I'm not going to tell him.
I was going to say, I'd let you tell him.
Yeah.
And him. That's awesome.
Oh.
Not so awesome.
Training wheels. Mississippi Mud Flap. That's a good name for that one.
Yeah, the Mississippi Mud Flap there, that had to be pre-Danica, because I promise you he didn't have that long after she was
cleaned
around.
him right up.
I definitely, I threatened Eric. I said, do not shave those lines off, because we have to see those on TV, and now he's got a hat on. So it all
You
worked
let us
out for
down,
him.
Eric.
Let us down. But Ricky, what do you have down there?
Well, I'm here with the crew chief of the 00, Jeff Mindering. Fuel only, got track position. You think you can hang out in front of that 22 for, what, we got 18, 17 laps left.
It's going to be tough. 22 is definitely fast, but Cole's driving the wheels off our Haas automation Ford, and we'll see. Clean air is king, so that's what we've been doing all day, is just trying to keep him in the best track position we could, and he's doing a good job to hang on to it.
Yeah, y'all's strategy is definitely playing off, so we'll be pulling for him to keep it out in front of that 22. Ryan?
Yeah, I'm here with Greg Irwin on the 22 car, and you guys have a fast piece today. I know myself, I've been privileged to run it a lot this year, and we keep finishing second. Do you think today is the day we finally get that thing back in victory lane?
Golly, Ryan, I hope so. You know as good as anybody how many times we've run second with that 22 car this week or this year. So I think we're in good shape. We had enough guys stay out behind us. The SKF Mustangs had really good pace today. So if we can make something happen with the 00, I think we got a little cushion. We got plenty of gas to get to the end. So maybe today's the day.
Awesome. Well, you guys doing a great job. It'll be exciting. So good luck to you, and let's see what Eric has to say.
Yeah, I've been listening to the 20-car spotter all day, like I talked about earlier, Tony Hirschman. It's been really interesting to listen to him, guide him through traffic, learning more about racing in this dirty air. Pocono's one of the worst tracks for the dirty air, learning about how to give yourself a gap and get that run off the corner. So this is going to be one of the toughest restarts for him in 6, so I'm excited to see what he's going to do.
Well, I think there's a couple interesting stories there. I think the fact that the 22 hasn't won yet, and they've run as well as they have. And I think Cole Custer being the top finishing Xfinity guy the last couple weeks. But tomorrow on FS1, it's Monster Energy Cup Series Racing from the track everyone loves to call the Tricky Triangle. Monster Energy Cup Series Racing from Pocono. Coverage begins tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern on FS1.
Sitting up here, you learn a lot. You're watching these guys, you're watching these restarts. I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, I wonder if the strategy is going to be like we see today with and I know our stages are a lot longer, and we can't even make one stage without pitting, I don't believe. So The strategy will definitely be different, but there'll be also a lot of strategy and cars trying to, like a lot of us say, leapfrog each other and try to get that track position, get that clean air on the nose.
I know one thing. It's a lot easier to be in that car and just let that crew chief and the spotter, all them guys do all the strategy work and just, boys, tell me when to pit, tell me when to stay out. I like that a lot.
Well, we've got an extra crew chief up here. We've actually got 2 crew chiefs up beside us here making all this happen. But here we go again as we approach the Geico restart zone. See how it all shakes out.
Already seeing him fan out. A lot more aggression here. It's a huge push by Elliott Sadler. Brad Keselowski pushed him so much he took the lead.
Yeah, Elliott Sadler never got off the back bumper of the 22. Pushed him down and gave him a good start, but never gave him a chance.
It's go time.
I definitely learned something else right there. So if I'm the guy in third, you definitely want to push him up.
And that puts a 22 back in the clutches of a lot of the cars that took tires from that last one. So he's going to have his hands full right now.
And he's still stuck on the outside, up in the wall. In the wall right there.
Now you see Kyle
Pass
Larson.
for the lead. Kyle Larson has figured it out. Got that thing in clean air.
Where did he come from? What just happened?
I mean, it wasn't but about 2 or 3 breaks ago we were talking about Kyle Larson and his car being tight and how he couldn't make it through traffic. Here he is leading.
And Brad's still getting the back bumper beat off that thing.
You can see the side draft and the drafting down the front straight. A huge role in all of this at racing at Pocono.
Clear, clear, clear.
That's exactly what he did.
Yeah, he's right.
And I think as we talk about Elliott Sadler, I think we talked earlier about how he really hasn't been fast all weekend. He hasn't been in contention all weekend. But we see that over and over and over with those guys. Here you see the 7 making a 3-wide move on the 9 and the 20 of Kyle Benjamin there.
And here we got a good view.
By himself, he's got no help. Bottom lane's going to move. 00 has no help to your right. Elliott's in line. You're going to clear. Clear tight behind. He pushed you, all right. Inside.
Just gave you that one last tap down on it in the corner.
Yeah.
That's all it took.
Yeah, he came off of him, and then
got a little more.
It's like
look at him battling back. Brad isn't giving up. He's charging to the front, got him 3 wides, putting on a show.
I tell you, there's nothing like an angry race car driver sometimes. You get me mad, it's game on. I'm going to the front as quick as I can. You're going to make some aggressive moves. Brad knows he has the fastest car. He wants to get back up there and at least get back to the 1. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can see our rookie here, Benjamin, getting beat up a little bit here, beat around there at the end, but he's doing a good job of holding on. It's tough. It's a lot of learning to do right here.
And it seems like it just kind of piles up. Kyle got out of the groove a little bit. Kyle Benjamin got out of the groove a little bit right there, and then piled up behind him to try to pass him again. So here you see Brad Keselowski coming through the middle.
Out of the way.
Coming through.
Contact there.
Everybody, welcome back to Pocono Raceway. We've had an exciting restart. That was pretty good. Sadler pushed the 22 Keselowski down into turn 1 and continued to push him until he took the lead. But we've got Kyle Larson in the lead now. So up to the booth. What do you guys think?
I think it's exciting.
I like it.
Yeah.
Aggressive. Pay window's open. It's time, right?
Yeah, pay window open, and we had counted out Larson, and now he's leading the race. And I think the guy in second is the guy that to me is the guy that sticks out every week. Elliott Sadler doesn't have speed. You don't think he has speed. And all of a sudden he shows up at the end of the race. And the one thing that stuck out to me when I was looking through all the stats this week, Elliott Sadler's only had 2 finishes outside of the top 10. And then you look at all these young guys, 6, 7, 8 finishes outside of the top 10. So this team and Elliott Sadler, as Logano put it to me earlier, they're old guy in him.
He's old guy in him. He figures out the experience, and I'm starting to fall into the old guy. I think.
Okay, well, I just didn't know how to take that earlier.
Well, let me tell you what regular is
that.
capitalizing on them 4 tires. Justin Allgaier in the 7 car. He started 11th, guys, and he's already to 3rd and hunting them down.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's going to have enough time to get Larson, but he's definitely going to get to the 1, and the 22 is coming back to that 1 car.
Well, that's what I want to see.
I want to see that too. That's going to be very interesting to see how Brad plays that one.
7 better make quick time of the 1 car because he knows Brad's coming, and he's probably coming with a little bit of heat under the visor.
Oh, there's a good corner for Justin Allgaier. That's going to get under Elliott Sadler down this Long Pond straightaway into turn 2 and clear him.
Ryan?
The 42 car of Kyle Larson surprisingly says the best it's been all day. Not really surprising since he's out front. That clean air does wonders, as you guys know, and he always seems to find a way to the front. That restart seemed to work out for him, and he's on 4 tires. The 1 is on 2. The 1 seems to be fading, but the 22 is coming pretty hard. He might run out of time, but we'll see if he can get there. What do you have, Ricky?
I just looked up at crew chief Jason Burdett, looked down at me and gave me the half smirk smile saying, hey, this might work out here. So those 4 tires are working good for Justin Allgaier. Great restart. It'll be interesting to see if he can catch the 42. Catching him is one thing. Obviously passing him here's another, but he's also going to have to be looking at his mirror at the 22 coming. But Justin feels like right now the car's the best it's been all day.
Here we see a good battle between Cole Custer, Brendan Gong, and Matt Tifft, who started 31st. We haven't talked about him much, but he's on the outside right now, running 6th, 7th, 8th by the time we get to the next corner. Went from 6th to 8th there. So, but he's still done a great job coming from the back of the field. Another guy with not a lot of experience.
Yeah, there's just so many different agendas. You got guys with tires, no tires, a lot going on right here, a lot of atmosphere and environment in the race. Hey, it's hard to cover right now, right? It's hard to talk about them all.
Well, that's the thing I love about stage racing. I mean, this has been a story every week because of the fact that we have so much to talk about. The stages are short, and especially in this particular series, because of the fact that those stages are short, we've got a lot of things going on. So it's been hard to keep up with.
And there's a lot of racing back in the pack, but there's also a hell of a race for the lead right now. You see Justin Allgaier and Brad Keselowski. They're running down Kyle Larson right now. As they're kind of drafting a little bit even down these straightaways, probably are going to be able to catch up to Larson, and we're going to have a good race with 7 to go.
And 7 laps to go here is not like a normal racetrack. It's a long ways around this place.
Long ways home. Brad is watching through the tunnel turn there, and then even off of 3, he's carrying a lot of speed through the center. If he can make quick time Allgaier somehow, he's got something for Larson.
And that's really what it's going to come down to. It's going to be how long does it take to get around Justin Allgaier? Because the longer it takes to get around Justin Allgaier, that's better for Kyle Larson, don't you think?
Yes, for sure. The more those two race each other, the more Kyle Larson's going to be able to stretch that gap out, or at least keep that gap for a little bit. But I tell you, they're catching them a couple tenths a lap or so right now, even as they're racing a little bit back there.
Absolutely. That's a 53.95 for Kyle Larson, 53.82 for Allgaier, and a 53.80 for Keselowski. So they're definitely catching him.
And the question was going to happen, like we saw earlier, as Justin Allgaier gets to the back bumper of the 42 car, he gets in that aero situation, which he is in it now. The way that car is
pushed up,
you just see it pushed up. Brad was able to keep air on the left front and close that gap up, and you see how Kyle Larson was able to drive away a little bit. But the draft works in these Xfinity cars, and it's going to close up down the straightaway a little bit, and then we give another shot next lap.
It's a great shot right there. Great camera work. You can see that draft in full effect.
We had 5 to go that time by, and as you see, that long straightaway made up a little bit of ground. Let's hear what the 22 radio said.
22 struggles on the exit there. You're catching him. Time to put your cape on. We got 5 laps to go.
Put the cape on. I like that. I guess that's a Superman reference?
I think so.
Okay.
Brad might be able to capitalize on this.
And I can tell you that Brad wants to end that stat.
22 here.
I know all of you guys do because the car has run good enough to win.
Clear by 1.
Yes, he's definitely had a very fast car. You see, he kind of backs up turn 3 a little bit there, trying to get a run on Justin Allgaier off of turn 3 onto the longest straightaway in NASCAR here. It's such a long time, so you see the draft really come into effect all the way down the straightaway.
And it's really all about timing. You know, Brad was just trying to time that corner, and you know, Justin makes a little mistake right there in turn 3, but with Brad behind him and a car in front of him, that draft kind of makes up the ground that he lost, and now there's
a mistake.
Come on.
And they go. Brad was in third gear, able to take it.
Outside, lap car in front of you here on the bottom. Right corner. All right, get up. All good. Get up. Clear, clear, clear. Lap car bottom. Come on.
And now we'll see if
That's 1 car.
Brad's
3 laps.
really
That's
strong
fine.
through that tonal turn. Gosh, this is so neat to see. After all the strategy, all the racing, to watch it come down to this. Kyle Larson finally got that clean air. Let's see if he can keep it.
It is not going to be easy for Brad to pass Kyle Larson in this situation. It is going to be a heck of a race all the way to the end here.
Well, we're coming down to 3 laps to go, and we know Brad Keselowski has the best car. What's Larson trying to do right now? What is he trying to keep
I
Brad
think
from
for
doing?
Larson right now, obviously he's in the mirror a lot, but he needs to cover that yellow line. He needs to get all the air off of the 22 that he can to maintain the lead. Obviously he's not the fastest car, so he needs to try to put the trailing car in as much of a disadvantage aero-wise as he possibly can, which is just covering that bottom.
And especially from the center off. If you get in there too shallow in the center, he could back the corner up and get underneath of you. You've got to keep down on that yellow line through the center and up off.
And let's not forget about Justin Allgaier. He's right there. These two start racing each other too hard. He's going to be one that's going to take advantage and sneak a win out of it.
Well, and that's the one thing that Brad has to be careful. If he does get up beside the 42, and you see how close Allgaier is here, if those cars get side by side, that 7's going to get a heck of a tow into whatever corner they're going into next.
And you saw that Justin didn't race the 22 that hard when they got underneath him. He actually put his finger out the window and said, "Go ahead." He might want to be in that third spot right now, hoping for something to happen here.
See, Kyle's just doing a great job of keeping that air off the 22's nose so he gets tight behind him. That's just experience right there. That's something that you learn with a lot of laps around these racetracks.
And right now that heart rate is up. Believe me, you're pumping with everything you got, trying to do everything you can. You see they both get down on the apron there, trying to get all the air on the left front, and they both get loose. Brad's going to try to get to the back bumper as much as he can to Kyle Larson, maybe trying to free him up. But from what we've been hearing from a lot of the pit reporters, that Kyle Larson has been tight, so it might actually help him.
You could hear Brad downshift right there, try to get this run.
The white flag waves as we have 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank.
And boy, do we have a race.
Brad drove it in there hard, trying to get him loosened up.
See, Larson did a good job of maintaining control of his
he's
car,
under
but
him,
he's got
guys.
him. And this is where it's going to get big. He's going to
Where's
pull back
Allgaier?
Brad.
Here comes Allgaier on the outside.
Corner, dragging you hard, right corner. Start getting up. Clear, 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 clear by 1.
What a move.
Look at that.
Clear by 1, 2.
And that was about as well timed of a pass as you will ever see. Brad Keselowski took the fastest car and just made an absolutely great pass with it.
Yeah, he just put the pressure on him. He took the air off the back car. He didn't hit him, but he did textbook pass right there. Took the air off of him, got him loose, moved him up the track, went on to win the race. Great job.
Brad Keselowski wins his 35th race, and most importantly, ends the 46 race losing streak for the 22.
Congratulations, man. Great job. Thank you.
That is awesome for that race team. They needed a win really bad. It is a very good race in that 22 team, and they've gotten second so many times, and we know how much second stings. it hurts more than sometimes crashing even. So to see how excited they are, they deserve a victory. They had a fast car today, and it was cool to see him come back after that restart.
And you know what I love about this is the fact that Brad Keselowski got behind. He never gave up, and it almost looked like it motivated him more.
Oh, absolutely. Just like you said, you know, a little bit of anger behind the wheel goes a long ways. Got pushed out of the way, made it happen at the end.
Angry race car drivers are hard to beat.
And this is our first last lap pass of the season.
You know, I think he downshifted right there and got a run. That's exactly what I think happened right there. Downshifted, grabbed that gear, that crutch we were talking about,
and look how
it just
low
catapulted
he is.
him on. That was just a. I'm thinking that was a
way
gear
down there.
Oh yeah,
there it is.
I think that on top of Larson being tight on that exit, it looks like he may have had to pedal it as well and gave him enough to get underneath him.
Do you think he saved that all day because his car was so fast that he didn't have to use it?
I think you're just down and out. You're out of options. You tried everything else. We might as well try to grab third and see if it works.
Pay window's open.
That's right. Great finish.
That was awesome.
I don't think we could have asked for much more to talk about today. With all the stages and all the strategy and Brad coming from behind, you got 2 tires, no tires, gas only. But in the end, this guy, Brad Keselowski, won both stages, wins the race from behind, and takes a team that hasn't won a race in a long time to victory lane. Good to see.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Superior performing tires to face challenging conditions on the track and on the road. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. Wow, what a great finish. What an impressive job by Brad Keselowski. I mean, he obviously was pushed off of turn 1 by Elliott Sadler, and of course, then when Brad got back to Elliott moved over and let him by, which is probably smart, but very impressive. Fell back to 12th place and made it all the way back to the lead in 15 and a half laps it took him. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's, you know, to me, what I was most impressed with is his composure. It's very easy to lose your cool when you get pushed back to 12th on a restart, especially that late in the race, 17 to go. But wow, just a fast car. He was able to work the traffic just right. And how about saving this gear shifting move for the last corner?
Yeah, Brad did an incredible job. He showed why he is the veteran that he is and the incredible driver that he is. And we have Ryan Blaney in victory lane with your winner.
Did a great job. That was the coolest thing I've ever seen. I had a great car all day, and you got shoved into turn 1 there. I'm sure you were happy with the push initially and not the bump into 1, but you did a great job getting back, and that last lap pass. Bring us through that.
Man, it's a little surreal. I'm talking to Ryan Blaney in victory lane. Crazy, blowing my mind. Yeah, we were leading or second or whatever it was, and Elliott gave me a good push to clear the 0-0, but he carried it all the way into turn 1, and I got down there and my rear tires were off the ground and went straight, you know, trying not to back it in the wall. But from there, it just kind of a never give up, man. You know, we were, I think, felt like 30th, but drove by a bunch of cars and just pushed as hard as I could. It looked like Kyle's car was struggling just a little bit, and he was getting, you know, kind of tight in the middle, loose off, and he was doing a really good job of holding it low, so I couldn't get any runs. And just on the last lap, I got right to his bumper and got him loose. And you know, he was trying to do the side draft thing down the back stretch and all the way down the apron. That had to look really cool. I can't wait to see the replay on Fox here. But hell of a race, and I'm really happy for the 22 team. It's been a while, and I think it's well documented how they haven't been in victory lane. But you know, Discount Tire's been a part of this program for a long time. They deserve it. Without them, I wouldn't, you know, probably have a career in NASCAR, but they're not on the car today. SKF is, so I'm proud of them guys too from their area here, and it's good for Ford and everybody, and I just feels good for me. Feels good, even better for the team. They deserve it.
Yeah, you did a great job. I like how you saved your downshift, and that was timed perfectly. And I thought you were going to get at least a good enough run, and then down on the apron, that was that's what you had to do to get away from him. So great job. Congrats to the 22 team, and we'll send it back to you guys.
Thanks, guys. I can't wait to watch this now.
Well, I'm here with Justin Allgaier today, second place finisher, new points leader. He was doing all the math in his head. He was telling me throughout that whole race, said he was going to be leading by 1 point when this day was over. Just got a confirmation. New points leader. Great call by your crew chief, Jason Burdett, there at the end.
That really was the call. Everybody at G Motorsports has done a great job this year, and we knew we had speed in our Allen Meyer Chevy. We knew it was fast. We just needed that track position, and we got behind early. And when we made that call and we were able to cycle back through, a good restart after that helped, but the fresh tires were really what it was all about at the end. And unfortunately, we tried to make it interesting and just didn't have the speed to pass the 22, but all in all, a good day.
Kyle, I know you wanted to win the race today, and I know it's always disappointing to lose on the last lap, but what was it that kept your car from victory lane today? It never looked like it was a winning car. What did you need more of?
Yeah, you know, I thought I was third to fifth place car at best. The 22 is by far, you know, a lot better than everybody else, and I'd be loose for like 3 laps, and then I'd get really tight on exit, and that's kind of what would hurt me and allowed, you know, those guys to close on me there at the end, and was trying to just stay as low as I could to get them tight behind me, and I just got too tight off of turn 1 there, and Brad got a run on me and got to my inside, and that was pretty much it. So, you know, maybe I probably could have been a little bit more patient back to the throttle there off 1 to try and help my exit out, but I was getting worse and worse every lap. Is, I think you guys could see them closing on me pretty fast. So, disappointed I didn't get the win, but a good day for everybody on the Ineos team. They did a good job, good pit stops. Shiplet made the car better throughout the race. Just not quite good enough there at the end, but still a good run for us.
Thanks, Kyle. Back to you guys up in the booth.
Well, we're pretty lucky in the race that we got today, and to come down to a last lap finish and see all the strategy play out and everything that happened today. But I got to tell you, I'm relieved that this is over. I've never been more nervous in my whole life. So congratulations to Brad Keselowski and that last lap shift.
Man, it was awesome. Just and Ryan Blaney said it great. He timed it just perfect, was able to loose him up at the right moment, grab that downshift nice and smooth. We said how hard that is to grab that downshift because the gear differential is so different from fourth to third gear in these Xfinity cars. He's able to time that just right, keep his car under control, get a good drive off the corner, get underneath them, and clear him before he got to the tunnel.
And the thing that I took from this race and today, my experience today, is this stage racing. It's been a topic of discussion all year long. I think we saw it play out in exactly the format in which they hoped that it would when they made this rule. So those short stages in this Xfinity series I think are great. I think it created a lot of excitement throughout those, a lot of strategy. Cole Custer capitalized on that. We saw him made a lot of points today. Great finish at the end. I had fun, but guys, I really think it's time to these. Oh my!
We need them back.
These two
back in here.
Can we drive tomorrow?
Thanks for having us on your show, guys. Well, we appreciate it. I think though this is the first, Michael, last lap pass of 2017. And you and I were back there, and these guys were up here. That's not fair.
These boys had it all, didn't they? Strategy, last lap pass. What surprised you the most about today? What was the most fun?
I thought the strategy was the most fun to me. Watching that was crazy. But to see Brad win was special. To see that 22 car in the victory lane. He's already had a special week. He raised a lot of money for his charity with the Fisher House up in Michigan on Thursday. So to see good things happen to good people always puts a smile on my face.
It was fun to see you concentrate for so long.
There's a lot of strategy. Let's cover.
I think if we give them a grade, an A.
It'd be an A+.
Sure. Really, really good job.
Nice job, boys.
Well, thank you. And I appreciate everybody letting us do this. This has been an experience like I've never had before, so it was fun.
You got to finish it now, though, and throw it to the hotel.
All right.
Denny, you do that, not me.
Denny, Danica, get us out of this mess.
Oh, wait, we got to finish it now? Well, it's help me out. Hold my
I'm going
hand.
to. Well, since I was Danica's coach, we talked about that earlier, and I'm the only one that brought a gift for Danica.
Oh,
so this is for you. Congratulations on making it through your first full
Larry?
broadcast.
Thank you.
Got nothing for you, Denny.
Does this mean you took the microphone away from me?
Yeah, that's your own mic flag. You can do whatever you want, but it's for Danica.
Yeah, I just want my codes back. I got to have my codes back. Okay.
This was a fun day, though.
This was a fun day. Thank you so much. What an honor to be put in this position, to be asked to do this. And thank you. There was, while it may have looked like, the regulars were off camera to some degree, they were literally about 18 inches from us the entire time. So thank you guys so much for letting us invade, and I'm happy to get back to my regular day job. All right, tomorrow, tune in to Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series racing from Pocono on FS1. Coverage begins with race day at 1:30 Eastern. Next week's coverage of the Xfinity Series from Michigan begins with race day at 1 p.m. Eastern on FS1. Thank you guys so much. What a day.
Thank you. It was fun.
Exciting finish. Exciting race.
Congratulations to Brad Keselowski.
Exciting new friends. The time has finally come for us drivers to take over the Xfinity broadcast. Kevin, Joey, good luck keeping Clint in line. And guys, boom goes the dynamite. Up to you.
We're rookies up here.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast.